After we move away from the first few concentrated nutritional medicines, the magnesium, the iodine, the sodium bicarbonate, and whether or not we apply medical marijuana and these other concentrated nutritional substances like vitamin C and selenium, we get to something very central to medicine, and that's nutrition, general nutrition. I'm not a nutritionist, and I don't work with people's diets. The easiest and the best way to apply nutritional science is with the use of superfoods. My mentor in life, who had one of the greatest influences on me, was Dr. Christopher Hills. And he's the gentleman who brought Spirulina to the world. Spirulina, and before it Chlorella in Japan, were very, very popular superfoods. These are micro-algaes, and the power in these foods are sufficient to sustain whales. There are certain whales that only eat microalgae and can grow to enormous size just eating at the bottom level of the food chain. Microalgae are the bottom level of the food chain, and they contain everything the body needs to live and survive. 30 years ago, when I was working for this company, a Spirulina company, I met people who would go for months at a time just eating spirulina and water. And they would go through tremendous detoxification process, eliminating, using a superfood like spirulina opens up the channel for elimination. No matter how much you intake and eat of these, whether it be Chlorella or spirulina, the body uses and needs very little energy to digest these things. So we're not using our energy for digestion. These foods come into the cells and into the whole body in a form that's readily used. They're digested almost automatically, especially the spirulina. So it's like feeding the cells like rocket fuel, and the cells respond in incredible ways. Superfoods, they are what the word suggests. They're superheroes when it comes to recovering from disease or heavy trauma, or avoiding certain diseases, or treating cancer. Spirulina actually has been tested for the treatment of cancer. It has many different things in it that are helpful and make it into an anti-tumor medicinal. Doctors in Japan many years ago used spirulina for anemia. It's filled with chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a complex molecule with magnesium in the middle. You take the magnesium atom out and you put an iron atom in, and now we have hemoglobin. So the rationale, of course, is there for using anemia, which will increase oxygen levels in the body, which will help in any cancer treatment. But that's not the only reason it's good for cancer. Bottom line is, these past few years I've been using Rejuvenate. It's a formula. There are different formulas around, different superfood formulas. This one there's about 4 different flavors, and it tastes wonderful. It has spirulina, Chlorella, and many other organic superfoods combined into a delicious formula that one can comfortably consume, whether it be mixing in one's water, mixing with one's juice, and making smoothies. My favorite way is in Brazil. We have kind of unlimited access to acai, which is this wonderful fruit that they make into an ice cream. In the United States, it's mostly sold in like as a juice. And it's one of the, not one, actually the United States government rates acai as the highest antioxidant food in existence. So putting it on my ice cream by the scoop is just wonderful. Specifically for cancer patients and for diabetic patients or anybody, taking large amounts of superfood is a straight path to recovery, to health, because you're covering every base, making sure the body is getting everything it needs. My main testimonial for myself, when I was 5 years old, my uncle started filling my mouth up with mercury. By the time I was 17, I had dental disease. I had gingivitis. I had massive loss of my gums. By the time I was in my late 20s, the holes in my gums were tremendous. I started taking spirulina, and I actually regenerated my gums. That's how strong it is. So I recommend for all doctors to become familiar with this Rejuvenate. It's easier to eat a lot of it than taking spirulina or Chlorella, which are easier to take when it's in pill form. But when we're talking about taking 10, 15, 20 grams or more of superfoods a day, it's nice to have a nice tasting formula. Of course, this is not the only superfoods available. Honey is a great superfood.